Focus, focus. Hey, orchid people. Welcome back to El Pilar Orchids. Not gonna focus. Happy New Year in 2024. So quickly want to walk through in January and give ourselves a baseline, and you guys as well, for some of our new viewers here and El Pilar fans. We'll kind of go through and tell a few stories of some of these plants that we hope to highlight in the upcoming year. Share some thoughts about our new grow space. So if you're new to the channel, we did just move here, and so the plants are still settling in. So let's take a quick look around and see what's happening. All right, so first and foremost is quarantine, and it is the bathroom. This is a south-facing window, so give them some okay light, I guess, while they're in quarantine. And it also reminds me that I need to wash them every time I come in here. A couple of the catasetums in here right now because they still had some bugs on them, and I want to wash them before they go into dormancy fully. This one is always a bit later. This is a species Macroglossum, so this one, yeah, it's the latest to go into dormancy. I'm not sure. I guess its season is shorter. The dry season is shorter for that one. This is Arides liana crossed with Phallum amabilis, intergeneric hybrid. We'll see what happens with this. It's grown a new leaf, but I saw a few bugs on it recently, so I brought it here into quarantine. Now on to more exciting things, to the bedroom. This is a south-facing window, the only south-facing window we now have in the new place. But we grow like our RLC hybrids here, and the Oncidium Shari baby. This plant was repotted in the fall, I guess late summer, early fall, and yeah, it's coming back really good. Some nice new growths coming on. Hasn't bloomed yet. We grew this plant kind of in a lot of heavy shade and a bit dry, like kind of not what you're supposed to do, I guess, with that. We did it that way for like a year. It didn't die, but it definitely needs some more time to recover, but it's on the road, so happy about that. Meanwhile, the cuttings we took recently from our Maxillaria variabilis, they're still hanging on. Kind of got, like, I don't know if that's like orange rot starting to happen. I don't know. They're just turning a shade of brown that I don't really like. Hopefully they'll keep hanging on, but this is what they should look like. Nice, plump, healthy green looking pseudobulbs. You can see the older ones start to get a little more shrivelly and a darker green. This Maxillaria variabilis mother plant still also growing in the front window. The other Maxillaria that we have in our collection still is the Schunkiana with these nice little black flowers. So it already did bloom once this fall, and now is getting ready to put on another flush of blooms, which is great. So there's 3 or 4 forming in there. Yeah, there's another one right there. Another no ID Cattleya. This is our little orange one. The other catasetums also growing up here, so they're kind of getting ready to go full dormant. Probably water them again today. We moved one of the Cattleya seedling cups that we just deflasked. We moved those up into the front window. This is the Harrisonianum. They're up here now. The other one's still in the main grow room. And finally, up here, the Gulf Green Hair Pig. Its new growth is still growing and looking nice and happy. The sheath, yeah, you can kind of see it. Now you can't even see it. Well, yeah, the sheath is still green. I can kind of see something down there, but I feel like I've been seeing a little bud kind of forming down in the base there for a while, and it's just really taking its time. Keep you posted on that one as it goes along. Hopefully it'll bloom sometime this year. Now to the north side of the house, the row of phals here, we've got the Yang Yang Supermodel. Couple seed pods still, capsules still hanging on there. Just about 7-8 months old now, so they look good, and we'll hopefully get something from them soon. We're keeping an eye on them. Falfuscata, replacing a couple that we had gotten that died. And Amabilis Snowflake here, yeah, young plant. I don't know, got that a little over a year ago. And one of our deflast seedlings, this was from the first round of deflast seedlings that we had. The tag is buried in there and I don't want to get it out. Looking forward to seeing some blooms on our seedlings. Hopefully again sometime this year would be nice. These are from the same group of deflast seedlings and you can kind of tell the similarity in this like leaf coloration pattern. This one, the tag is much easier to get, so show you that. I know it's dirty. So it's Carmela's May Naui crossed with Tellbird. So this was, again, one of the seedling packs that was on offer from what is now Equigenera Europe. We got these, I don't know, 2.5 years ago now. So you can kind of see the difference in growth rate. It's crazy. We're going to do a video on this about taking pictures of orchid flowers. So nice little no ID. I think this is like what they call like a Piketty because it has that margin around the sepals and petals. So nice no ID little mini fowl. Another Dowriensis. We've lost all of the other seedlings of Dowriensis that we had, and these are the only two that are remaining, and even these guys aren't looking too great. We'll keep you posted as they kick the bucket slowly. The root growth was never good on these. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's just how it is. One of our paths in semi-hydroponics that we're trying up here. Very quickly, update for our fans here at El Pilar on what we're calling Project YouTube. So you can see that the seed pod on the Jermaine Vincent is still extending and getting bigger, and the other one, the little runty one, we've left on there. Yeah, you can see comparatively still, it's just, I don't know what's going on with that one. Don't think that one's a successful one, but this one I'm more confident on. And then the reciprocal cross, you can see that seed pod is also looking good and still going on. So this is Tetraspis green crossed with Jermaine Vincent. Hopefully we get some nice seeds from those, at least one of them. That would be great, and it'd be great if we could get some flowers. Finally, on this windowsill is the Phalaenopsis ambinosa, which we didn't have much success breeding with this like winter so far, but we have gotten what appears to be one successful little seed capsule going there, just the beginnings. We really, this is a fragrant, well, a stinky orchid, I would call it. Like, I'm not good with scents, but it has a distinct, strong odor, which I kind of like. I think it's cool. It's a nice surprise. And now into the main grow room here, our little back enclosed, I don't know what I'm just using as the plant room. I've kind of wrangled this space right now, and we may get a little small table and make like a breakfast nook or something out of it. And I want to start filming the videos in here and use this as like the background, which will be tricky with the windows. But anyway, enough about that production stuff. On the plant side, we have a few seedlings up here right above the heater just to kind of increase the temperatures and keep them a bit warmer. The heater is right back down here below them. Experimenting with one of our paths in semi-hydro. So yeah, you can see it there. A couple new growths coming in, looking really good. Yeah, bloomed a couple times. So trying it up here in higher temperatures and maybe a little bit less light. A bunch of succulents also grow up here in the higher heat. The Phalaenopsis Jennifer Palermo. You can see there, Jennifer Palermo. Lost its bloom, but yeah, hopefully it'll kind of put out another flower every now and then. The Ludemaniana, this was a plant that we got as a kiki from a member on the orchid board, which, you know, if you are trying to get into orchids or maybe you want to learn more and make some connections, that's a great place to, you know, meet people in the orchid world, and there's a lot of great advice on there. And yeah, it's old school message board, so you know, it kind of comes with all that. Sumatrana, this species phal was given to us by another member of the orchid board. So, you know, Mr. Fake Name, I haven't heard from you in a while. I hope you're doing good. And if you're watching this, give us a shout out. We were kind of in communication online. And through that, he sent us a few plants that he just needed to downsize and he was moving. And so that was one that he sent us, and it is still recovering, but it's been a slow road for that guy. But we aren't giving up on that one. The Gigantea seedling that we deflasked, we have a couple of these laying around and some at our school. So that one is also a couple years out of flask, and hopefully it'll start to bloom sometime soon. And then one we just deflasked last spring, phal uberosum. We had these in a compote in one of our walkthrough videos. I think we showed it in the fall. And so, yeah, we split those up, and here is the last one we have. We gave one or two away, and I have one at the office. That one's doing really good and looking healthy. Its roots are nice and green. So the Micholtzii here is an interesting one. It looks like death, but it's looked like this for quite a while, and you can kind of see like there is a green little growth poking out from the roots right there. Try to zoom in on it. And it's been growing like that very slowly for a couple months. And then I noticed there's another one coming out down on this side. So I am not giving up on these Micholtzii, but the last couple winters were hard on our Micholtzii. And that's the only one we have left, but we're not giving up on it. Here was another one we got in that group from Mr. Fake Name, the Venosa. So yeah, it had crown rot, which you can see there's the old crown. So that crown is now slowly dying off, and it put out a little basil kiki, which is now the main growing part of the plant. So that one bounced back and is, but it still hasn't bloomed for us. Fingers crossed we'll see something from that guy this year. And going down, so we did overwinter some plants for Mr. Fake Name, and this was one of them. He got a few of these Gigantea flava seedlings. Part of the agreement was he gave us one of these seedlings in exchange for overwintering for him. So that was the one we got from him, so thanks for that one. And hope your plants are doing okay. And one of our only plants, Phalaenopsis, that we tried to grow in full moss culture. This is a phal palens, which we got from, again, another member at the orchid board as a kiki. So that was a nice little gift. And a few more deflasked seedlings that we're just trying to baby along. Here's another one in that group we got from Mr. Fake Name. This is the phal Stewartiana. Slowly recovering. It looks good. Its leaves are back on track and growing and getting large. The root situation is precarious, to say the least, but it's still hanging on there. Let's see if we can pull this guy out. You can see what I'm talking about. So it's got some nice roots growing down, and it doesn't look like much from the top, but there's growing root tips, which is always nice to see. And yeah, you can see another one there. And so it's doing okay. It's always held on, but never like looking like I never feel 100% confident with it yet. Like it could just, you know, kick the bucket at any time. Anyway, so the other ones that we deflasked here just recently, right before Christmas, a couple weeks ago, yeah, the phal and then the other Cattleya. And those Cattleyas are, yeah, they're pretty wimpy and not so great. So if any of them make it, I'll be happy. I'll show you this guy. So the new growths on it are looking great. This is the Brasidium Shooting Star Black Gold. Well, there you can go. You see the tag and ID on that. So some nice new growths coming on. It did bloom. We showed this one in close-up last year. Hopefully this year maybe we'll have a couple spikes that'll be better formed. The flowers were kind of wonky. But this new growth right here in front you can see, and then right before Christmas, it just started to grow the growth there. So it's got 2 new growths coming on, which is great. And Paphiopedilum parishii, big multifloral strap leaf in semi-hydro. And this one will probably be updating a bit more this year. Yeah, I did a horrible job repotting this into semi-hydro. The root stock was just much bigger than... Anyway, I don't want to go into the story. The deal is that I am responsible for slowly killing this plant. It is hanging on. It has like a start of a new growth kind of see going on there, but that thing has just been barely hanging on and growing all slowly. And yeah, if this thing ever blooms for us, I'll be very happy. Okay, we showed this Lowii in our Y semi-hydro video. Big multifloral strap leaf, Paphiopedilum. It's got a couple new growths coming on down there at the base and one on the other side, but I'm not gonna turn the plant around. This is a hybrid, so I'm not gonna pull the tag out. But this is a hybrid Paphiopedilum venustum, I believe, crossed with Philippenenza. It's putting on a new leaf, so it is a nice new growing fan. But we lost this bloom last year. It was the first time bloomer and the bud blasted. So pretty disappointed that we lost it. But it's still growing a nice new growth that is coming along and looking healthy. Hopefully sometime, probably next year. I'm not thinking in 2024. This is probably a 2025 bloomer. So, stay tuned for that one. Phalaenopsis gigantea starship. Now it's in focus. Leaves coming on and still growing, which is always a good sign to see. But no new spike. This is last year's spikes that is still green and on the plant. It has not started growing a new spike this year, and I haven't really seen much action at the growing tip of the inflorescence. So maybe you can, I don't know, maybe it looks like there's a bud trying to form, maybe two. We'll see. Hopefully we get some blooms from that sometime here this winter. Couple more of our strap leaf Paphiopedilums in semi-hydro. We kind of divide the Paphiopedilums in my head. I divide them into like 2 major categories. One category is like these big strap leaf that are, higher light typically. And I try to keep the temps up a little bit more on them. And then the other kind, where's a good one? Okay, so here you go, are like these smaller, more mottled leaf Paphiopedilums that can tolerate a bit more shade, according to the, knowledge and stuff I see on the interwebs. But yeah, and actually this is a Phragmipedium. So this is a no ID frag. This is our only Phragmipedium or pedium in our collection, and the only one that's ever lived for us. So we've killed a couple of these in the past, but this one is hanging on. I think it's a pink flower, but I don't know. That's a leaf growing down there, not a bud. So, it is splitting on the end like a leaf does. Then the Venustum album, well, technically not album, but Paphiopedilum venustum. Someone at Slipper Talk commented that because it has those little spots of coloration right at the bottom of the petals and some coloration kind of on the edge of the petals, that this is technically not alba. So yeah, it's just a bright yellow, maybe flava, I don't know. Anywho, it's a pretty long-lasting flower, so it's nice that it's still hanging on and looking all weird and curled up. There's a top view, so you can see how swept back those petals are. These guys are all doing good, so they're all growing. New growths right now, new leaves coming out from the top of the fans. You can kind of see some activity happening down on some of those. We moved the RLC Thailand Rainbow, Amazing Thailand Rainbow. We moved that into here, I don't know, just because we're kind of trying to baby this guy back to health, and so it's as bright a light as possible basically in this room. not in the south window where it probably should be, and we're kind of limited for space right now. These guys under here, we need to get some, I want to get some new plant shelves in here, something with some lights. Those can be expensive, and we don't like to use a lot of electricity here. This is kind of part of our thing. We try to be pretty energy, I don't know, saving. Yeah, grow what we can without a lot of power. Back to looking at some more plants. So again, some more Paphiopedilums. These are all species paths in semi-hydroponics. Here's the tie-in. I'm getting a nice new little growth on there. These seeds need to come off. This is our one of like only a couple capsules we've had go on Paphiopedilums. This is Gertrixianum, and that seed capsule has been on there over a year. So I'm gonna see if there's even anything in there. Maybe we'll do a video on that. And then yeah, over to kind of the Paphiopedilum shelf right now. These were the last two plants that we got from Mr. Fake Name because he's a cool guy. The little sister over there in the corner, she's had a couple capsules on her and kind of looking like maybe, yeah, those are gonna start producing more flowers again. And the hieroglyphica, species Phal hieroglyphica. And also the spikes on this guy, we did repot it not too awful long ago, maybe a month or so ago, something like that. Seems to be nice and happy in its new pot. And then coming down, here's another reciprocal cross. This is with the Phalampinosa. This is the Tetraspis green. So you can kind of see back there a small seed pod starting, or capsule technically, and it's shedding its other spike right now, probably to take energy for those seeds. And this is one of our only Paphiopedilums that is not in semi-hydroponics. You can see this guy, so Primulanum. Species Primulanum. We'd like to run some experiments and some controls, so this is just in bark. That's how it came to us, and we haven't disturbed it at all. We're just gonna keep it in there and probably continue to grow it in bark. We'll see how it does. If it suffers, then I'll throw it into semi-hydro, because I really like that method for paths. No ID, pink Phalaenopsis, still growing a spike and should bloom probably in a couple months. Last year, if you've watched the channel from the beginning, just under a year ago, this thing like blasted all of its buds. But hopefully this year it'll keep the first blooms. So that one's looking good. And then Paprika, also still growing a little spike back there, just started a few weeks ago. So that looks nice. A few more paths. This is Paphiopedilum delinadii. This is the one we just repotted recently, right before Christmas, into semi-hydro Cerverianum. Or I guess I'm calling it wrong. Cerveranum. Cerveranum. Spicerianum kind of looks like it may be starting to put on a tiny little bud in the middle of this oldest fan. It's really tough to see. You can kind of see there's something starting to creep out there from between that leaf. Oh yeah, this also came from Mr. Fake Name. I forgot this one, the Marii. Also did not look great when it came to us, but slow but sure, it's recovering. We're really happy about that. Hopefully we can get that to flower in the next year or so. The Micranthum is the flower that is the logo here at El Pilar Orchids. So I really love this flower. Oop. Well, you can see there's water in the reservoir and I just dumped a bunch of it out. I'll try to hold it up so you can see, but after it bloomed, it did start to put on this new little growth at the base of the fan that you can see right there in front. And then, as you might also be able to see, sure enough, that thing, I don't know if we got water in there when we watered it one time or something, but it just rotted from the new leaf and down into the stem. So we were really afraid we were going to lose this plant because I love the flower on this guy, and yeah, but then slowly, surely, maybe you can see it, it started to put on a new growth. So it's not dead yet, it's a fighter. So now it has a second growth, well, the only growth that's still alive. Hopefully it'll make it. We'll keep you updated on the micranthum as it goes. But again, for some of these paths that have bloomed recently, I'm not expecting them to bloom in 2024. It'll probably be 2025 before we see some of them again. We'll see. So now you've seen the whole garden. That's everything we have here at the house. Got a bunch of other stuff at school and the workplace, so we'll do a video of that upcoming soon. We're putting together. So thank you guys for checking in. We hope you're off to a good start to the new year, and we will see you back here at El Pilar soon. Have a good one.